training camp. He reportedly believes his partnership with Embiid is, quote, run its course. Of course, Embiid asked about this yesterday, and Joel's response says it all. Listen in.
Our teams have always been built around his needs. So it was kind of surprising to see, what was said. And even going back to, the reason we signed out is, we got rid of Jimmy, which I still think it was a mistake, just to make sure that, he needed the ball in his hands, and, that's the decision they made. I'm really focused on the guys that are here. The situation is weird, disappointing, borderline kind of disrespectful to all the guys that are out here, fighting for their lives.
Surprising, disappointing, disrespectful. Shannon, why do you think Embiid said all that?
Yeah, why, Shannon?
You know why he said it. If you want to know how someone truly feels about you, make a man. He was mad after Game 7 because he lost. And he said how he really felt about Ben Simmons.
He did.
He's upset right now because Ben Simmons, it's been reported that Ben Simmons says he and Joel Embiid have run their course. He's tired of hearing about what Ben, I don't want to play with Joel.
The rest of the report was that Ben feels that Joel was in his way. He blocked his path to the basket. Okay.
And Joel Embiid like, oh, that's how you feel?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you how I feel.
Yep.
The reason why we said Al Horford was because we needed the ball in his hand, and we let Jimmy buckets go.
Which
that was a mistake. I told you, Skip Bayless, I kept telling you. I said, Skip, it was over after Game 7. I said, Skip, he ain't coming back. And lo and behold, do you still believe he's coming back? Do you still believe Doc Rivers can get in his ear and get him in a room and talk him into coming back? That was never going to happen, Skip Bayless. Joel Embiid has been suppressing this for the longest time, saying all the things. We need him. He knows we can win a championship. Joel Embiid said, to hell with Ben Simmons. It was a mistake that we let Jimmy Butler go.
He said that.
Because he needed the ball in his hands. Why we got to put the ball in his hands? He can't shoot it. Basically, that's what he said. He ain't say that, but that's what he's thinking. It's over. It's been over. The moment that horn went off in Game 7 and the Philadelphia 76ers were not advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals, it was over. Because in that press conference, what Doc Rivers said and what Joel Embiid said, Skip, I said that was the coup de grace. Yep. That was the crescendo. That was the zenith. That was the denouement. It was over. It's over. If you had any doubt whether or not it was over, after that press conference that Joel Embiid had.
Okay, I still believe that Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers have concluded they are dug in because Ben Simmons owes them 4 more years of contractual agreement.
He owes somebody, but it ain't going to be Philly.
Okay, well, you can say that, but I believe that they know that they're going to be much better with Ben, and I'm going to reiterate the point. All they did together last year, Ben and Joel, was win the East as far as
number one seed
in the regular season. They won the most games in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
So something worked. I don't know, they won in spite of themselves, but it worked. And I believe it could work again. But I am with you. It just got way, way more difficult. The impasse got to the point of unbreakable at this point, where I don't think that the ice is so thick now, I don't think it will ever thaw. Because the one thing I love about Joel is what you can hate about him is he just truth serums every answer. He just blurts whatever is in his heart. And he always says to the media, I'm just being honest with you. What did we conclude the other day? There are certain areas of your life in which you cannot be completely forthcoming.
Sometimes you keep the peace, Skip.
Sometimes just to keep the peace, you have to just throttle it down. Just say, bite your tongue.
Yes.
Bite your lip.
Yes.
Just don't go there. Don't go over the edge, because if you go over that edge, you can't come back from it.
Nope.
He went over the edge yesterday with these comments, yet if you frame them with everything that he said, he was actually trying to be constructive here. His bottom line was, we are a better team with him. There's no question about that. We still hope he changes his mind. But I kind of owe it to these guys to worry about what we have here. Well, you're trying to qualify, and then you disqualify everything that you're saying. You say something nice, and then you nuke it with something honest.
Right.
Because he was obviously angry, to your point, about the report in The Athletic that Ben is saying, I was in his way, that we have run our course, he's like, time out. I want everybody to know that we did everything in our power to cater to him.
Right.
We tried to put him in the position to succeed,
Right.
where he would be the best with the ball in his hands. We signed Al Horford just to get Jimmy Butler out of his way, because Jimmy needed the ball in his hands
Right.
a good bit of the time.
Right.
And Jimmy probably quietly behind, not so quietly, but behind closed doors, he was probably giving everybody an earful about Ben Simmons. Like last year, if Jimmy had been on the team during the playoff run,
Right.
he would have been all over Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
You know how he is.
Right.
He won't take nothing off nobody.
Right.
So if Ben started to close up in the fourth quarter, he would be in his ear screaming at him.
And I believe Jimmy also wanted out of Philly because he couldn't depend on Joel Embiid because of practice and Joel Embiid not being there for games.
That's a whole nother issue.
And plus,
you're
probably the
right.
issue with Ben Simmons, because Joel Embiid says, hey, we built an offense around a guy that needs the ball in his hand, but hell, he can't shoot.
Okay. There you
So
go.
now, so what are we? So now, what are we supposed to do about that? So now it's just time for us to move on. I need to worry about the guys that are here, Skip. I can't be overly concerned about a guy that's not here and doesn't seem like he wants to be here. So let's move on along. But Skip, like when he went back and says the Al Horford,
Yeah,
and
that's the bridge burner.
Yeah,
He says, we signed Al Horford and we let go of Jimmy, which was a mistake, he said,
right.
which was a mistake.
So in other words, now he got a bunch. Now he got Al Horford and he got Ben Simmons back there because Al Horford's like, hold on, bro, what I got to do with this?
Yep. That's a bridge burner quote. That's a can't go back. That's an over-the-edge quote where once you utter those words, it's like Ben's going to be, because listen, Ben Simmons to me is a quietly, defiantly proud young man, right?
Skip, what professional athlete that was good? I'm not saying great that was good, that wasn't prideful.
Well, prideful in Ben's case to a fault,
Yeah.
because he gets ashamed that he can't make those free throws in
Right.
the fourth quarter, so he gives up a dunk to just hand it to
for
Thibault.
a possible layup.
You shoot the free throws.
Right.
You know, I can't shoot them, you
Right.
shoot them. Because he's so proud, I don't want to go fail. I don't want to get
Right.
shamed in public again for missing these free throws, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now you've got Joel trying to speak out of both sides of his mouth, but one side is so much louder than the other side
Yes.
that nobody heard the other side of the mouth, which is, we are a better team with him. There's no question about it. We still hope he changes his mind.
All I heard is that it was a mistake that we signed Al Horford and let Jimmy Butler go so Ben Simmons could have the ball in his hand. Skip, and late in the ball game, Skip, you're playing 4-on-5 because you don't want to pass the ball to Ben because they're going to foul him. Ben don't want you to pass the ball to him because he knows they're going to foul him. So now, Skip, I'm playing 4-on-5 on offense.
Yeah, but again, I'm a much bigger Ben fan than you are, because all he did was win Rookie of the Year and then
Yes.
make 3 straight All-Star teams and 2 straight all-defensive teams, first team.
Yeah.
And all he did in that Game 7 was hold Trae Young to 5 of 23 because he's 6'10", long and quick.
Yeah.
And defends at the, he came very close to winning defensive
Well,
player
how
of the
about
year.
how about he be half as good an offensive player as he is a good defensive player, and then you be on to something, Skip.
Okay, but we have seen him. I keep pointing to that February 13th game at Utah,
Yeah.
but there was no Joel.
Yeah.
Against Rudy Gobert, just because he was angry about he was getting all the acclaim for Defensive Player of the Year, he scores 42.
And I told you, Skip, the ideal
42. He made 12 of 13 free throws. Don't tell me he can't.
The ideal situation for him would be put him in a situation like Draymond. Now, Draymond will shoot the 3, but that's not, and he will shoot occasionally. But Draymond is more facilitator of the offense, bang the boards, play defense, get you some layups, get you some putbacks, give you extra possessions. Ben Simmons would be ideal for a situation like that. But as your point guard, when you're going to need him to shoot the ball, he can facilitate an offense, no question, Skip.
Yep.
But how do I have a point guard, Skip, that I can't play late in ball games? That's oxymoronic.
The Sixers are stuck because I don't see a way out of this. And the more Joel talks, the worse they get.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so he's saying, I got to protect. He even went so far as to say, the situation is disappointing. It's borderline kind of disrespectful that Ben isn't here for the sake of his teammates who are just trying to eat, like they're trying to make the team and eat.
What he meant to say, Skip, is disrespectful that he's not here working on his game, working on shooting free throws, working on shooting the basketball.
Yep.
That's what's disrespectful, because he's the first person that should be here for practice, and he's not here.
Well, He just got called out at a time. The last thing that Doc needed was for Joel to call out Ben Simmons.
See, that's what you get, Skip.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, Skip, everybody, like, you know what? We're not going to make him available to the press today. You know, Skip, you've been in a situation where you see players have done things and they don't make the player available to the press because they know it's going to get worse. So we just going to hold it back for a little while. That's what you should have done with Joel Embiid. Like, Joel, we're not going to make you available to the press today.
But remember, Doc went on a national media tour last week trying to mend the fence.
Yes.
Well, Joel just tore it down.
Yeah, he did all that fence that you've been building.
Yeah.
He clipped it.
He just clipped all of the barbed wire. Yep. Oh, well.
It's against my New Orleans Pelicans in NOLA, so I won't